Hello and welcome to Six Strings Daily. I'm your host, Ben Murphy. Guitar amps are one of the greatest tools a guitar player can use. Knowing how to identify the different parts of an amp and how to use them are just as important as knowing how to play. Today on Six Strings Daily, we are going to be talking about the different parts of an amp as well as how they can be used to change the sound of your guitar. We are going to learn about the basic knobs and effects that are commonly found on guitar amps. Now, let's get ready to rock on Six Strings Daily. Alright, so first things first, we are going to talk about the physical aspects of the guitar amp. So as you might be able to tell, this front part of the amp is the speaker, and that's where the sound is actually going to be coming out of the amp. And the top part where all the action takes place and all these knobs are, that's called the preamp. So before I get into those even, I'm going to talk a little bit about how an electric guitar and an amp work in tandem to create the sounds that you hear. So on a guitar, electric guitar, you're going to have these little metal bits underneath the strings. Those are called pickups. And what the pickups do is every time you hit a string, that string is going to vibrate. And the pickups detect those vibrations, and then they send that turn it into a signal that is sent through the cables into your guitar amp. And your guitar amp then interprets those signals in different ways, and that's how you use all these knobs, and that's what you end up hearing. So this is a Fender Mustang IV2. It's a good mid-range amp, so it's not too much, but we still have lots of options. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So on the very far left side, we have two inputs. This one is for your guitar to plug in, and then the one behind it is for if you want to add an external effect pedal or something like that, which we will talk about in a different episode. Right next to that is we have our gain knob. And gain it works similarly to volume, where except instead of just raising the noise level, what it does is it tells the pickups to increase the amount of vibrations that they're taking in. So I'm going to play just this chord without any kind of, that's just a normal standard electric guitar sound. And I'm going to increase the gain all the way up, and you're going to hear the difference now that it's got much more gain. So as you can tell, it's a lot fuller of a sound. It's kind of grungy. So if you just want to, mess around with that, that's what gain does. So I'm going to turn this back down because we don't need it that extreme. Right next to gain is we have volume. Volume does exactly what you would imagine. It increases the level of sound coming out of the speakers. Next to volume, we have the treble and bass knobs. These two knobs are great if you want to hear more of the lower notes on your guitar. You can increase the bass. If you want to hear more of the treble, then you just turn that up. Next to that is master. It increases the volume, but the volume of all these knobs at the same time. Volume is just one. If you want to increase all of them at the same time, you want to use master. Next to that, we have the preset knob, and there's 8 presets on this guitar, and I'm going to change it to the metal preset, and then I'm also going to turn this down because it's going to be a little bit louder. So this is what this metal preset is. So lot more crunchier. Maybe if you want to play something from Metallica, you could use the metal preset. And there are 8 of these settings, and each one you can use, and you can affect those by using these 2 knobs, which are mod or distortion, and then reverb and delay. So I'm going to increase our distortion all the way, and I'm using just the normal electric sound. And this is what it sounds like with a lot of distortion. So you can kind of like wavy, kind of funky. That's that knob. And I turned it all the way up. It can be a lot less severe if you want it. And then this one is our reverb and delay. And I want to turn delay all the way up so we have a longer delay. And then I'm going to play that, and you should hear it echo after I hit the strings. As you can tell, it's like the sound continues to echo after I hit the notes. And that is all of our knobs, and I think that's going to do it today for Six Strings Daily. I'd like to thank you for joining us, and I hope that you learned something new. Join us next week when we take a closer look at how to replace the strings on your guitar. I'm Ben Murphy, and this has been Six Strings Daily.